Hi, my name's Sonjia and this is my channel, See It Then, See It Now. We're into November, which means full steam ahead with the Christmas crafting, and I love Christmas crafting, it's my favourite. Now if you've watched some of my past crafts at Christmas time, you'll know that I do always do a piece for the Georgian Dragon, the local pub, and this year's no exception. I have got something planned for them. And these bells are part of that project, and it's a bit devastating really, because I absolutely love the way these turned out and I really don't want to give them away. But that said, I have got plans for them. They are going to be displayed in the Georgian Dragon, and there'll be more about the bigger picture of what I'm doing for those, and that will come later. But for now, let's just jump straight into the video. So this I got from B&M, looking at that label, £4. I thought I might be able to make it look less plasticky and maybe do something better at the top than what's there. But I thought the gubbins was good for £4, that it had potential. So I'm going to give it a makeover. I set about taking the whole thing apart and, most importantly, stopping that jingle noise, which was already getting annoying. Wow, I sound like a barroom bug there, don't I? And I love Christmas crafting, it's my favourite. I wanted these bells to have some pattern in them, so I glued a piece of lace around the bottom of the bell. I secured one end with hot glue, and then I used Mod Podge to secure the lace all the way around the bell. I then secured the other end with hot glue. The hot glue just helped keep it in place while the Mod Podge was drying. I painted over the top of the lace with the Mod Podge as well, just to seal all the lace in. I really wasn't a fan of this swirly pattern that went around the centre of the bell. I felt like it had been really poorly applied, so it had to go. Heating it with a hairdryer made very easy work of getting this gone. To add more texture and cover where the swirls had been, I added a larger piece of lace around the middle of the bell. I started by measuring and marking a guideline for the bottom edge of the lace. I then used hot glue to glue the bottom edge of the lace all the way around, and I used the tiniest little slither of hot glue. I didn't want the hot glue to stick out and be bulky, so it got the tiniest little slither just to hold it in place until it got glued down properly. Because the bell narrowed towards the top, I needed to cut the lace all the way around, and then I glued it down with Mod Podge, overlapping it where I needed to and getting it as flat as I possibly could. When Becky was editing this video, she sent me a text saying, "It currently looks like there's no hope for them bells, haha." And I'm guessing she was somewhere around this part of the video, because at the moment these bells are not looking very attractive at all. Once the lace was dry, I glued on some flat back beads around the centre of the lace. It added more texture and it tidied up the middle of the lace where the pattern had started overlapping. I used my usual combo of E6000 and hot glue. Two coats of French chic chalk paint in the colour Blackjack had these bells covered nicely. I also painted those two little jingle bells in the same black paint. Now for the real transformation. I used a very small amount of copper gilding wax, and using my finger I just gently highlighted the surface of the bell, and a little goes a long way with this, and it just totally transforms the look of these bells. I also used a tiny bit on the two little jingle bells, and at some point they lost the jingle. I don't know if I got paint inside or what, but I did actually, they were no longer jingling. I sealed the bells with a coat of Mod Podge. I used the dishwasher safe Mod Podge just because I have a full bottle of it on hand, but it was just to seal the outside of the bells. It was then time to attach my non-jingling jingle bells back onto the bells, and I used chain to do this. I'm not the best when it comes to creating bows, not helped by the fact that I really didn't know exactly what I wanted this bow to look like. I knew that I wasn't going to want it to have any tails, so I started creating the loops straight away, and I started by doing 3 loops for each side, so 6 loops altogether, and I just bunched it in the middle, created the loop, and because this ribbon only had a pattern on one side, as I took each loop to the middle I had to twist the ribbon round and then take it back over so that the pattern stayed on the outside. Once I had my 6 loops, I secured the center with some wire, and then I took once I had it secure, I then took the ribbon around the center to cover the wire, and then I couldn't decide whether that was how I was going to leave it or whether I wanted to put a few extra loops in. So I just left that long piece of ribbon just dangling and put it to one side while I made a decision on if that was enough or whether I was going to want to put some extra loops in. I hope that makes sense. Clearly I'm not the best when it comes to describing how to make a bow either. For this ribbon, I knew that I definitely wanted nice long tails, so I measured how long I wanted my tail to be. I then made a loop, gathered it in the middle, made another loop, gathered it in the middle, put a piece of wire around, and I used quite a long piece of wire on this because I'm going to use it to attach the whole thing to the reef that it's going on, so I did use quite a long piece of wire, and so I secured the center with the piece of wire, and I wasn't worried about covering the wire up because the other bow that you've seen me just make is going to go on the top of this and cover that anyway, so I didn't need to worry about the wire showing. So once I had it secured in the middle, all I needed to do was measure how long my other tail needed to be and just chop the ribbon across so that I had 2 nice long tails. As soon as I placed this smaller bow over the top of the larger bow, decision was made I definitely needed to put more loops in. So I created more loops at the back and secured it with the same piece of wire that I'd used to secure the rest of it. And it looked so much better once I had those extra loops in. Then it was just a case of attaching everything, so I used wire to attach the bells to the top of the reef. I used wire to attach the bow, and it was just a bit fiddly, just wrapping it round and making sure that it was secure. Easy enough to do, just a little bit fiddly. This smaller bow I did attach with the wire, but I decided to use a little bit of E6000 just for an extra bit of security. Let's have a reminder and see it then. And let's see it now. I know that I've already said it, but I absolutely love the way that these turned out. I think they look amazing. I think they've gone from looking cheap and plasticky to looking expensive and almost metal looking. I just think they look amazing. I'm devastated they're not going to be mine, but it is what it is. I'd love to know what you think. Do leave me a comment and hit that like button. I have been doing some live streaming, and this is something that I do intend continuing with. If that's something that you would be interested in, then I will be putting the notifications out on Facebook, so make sure that you do follow me on there. I haven't quite got the schedule together yet, but I will be sorting something out and I will be putting notifications out on there. I've got lots of Christmas crafts coming, so if you are not subscribed, then make sure that you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. I've got more on the Dragon's Reef, and I've also got lots of other stuff planned as well. I think that's covered everything. I am just so eager to get on with everything. I'm just really love the Christmas thing, so I'm going to get cracked on with the next one so I can get that out to you, and I will see you soon in the next one. Bye for now.